Hi, listeners. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by The Draw Shop, and we've got something exciting for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been asked what you do? We all get asked this, right? Have you then answered and then got the response of totally glazed over eyes or just the look of someone politely smiling but definitely not caring? It sucks. I know, I've totally been there on both sides, actually. That's why my team and I at the Draw Shop now offer a service to help you perfect your elevator pitch so that people immediately understand how you can make their life better and so that you can use this anywhere in your marketing. It's the single statement that compels your prospects to take action right away. Here's what happens. You meet with an expert copywriter on our team to define the problem you solve, how you solve it, and the transformation your customers experience after working with you. From there, we'll turn that into a short and sweet elevator pitch just for you and create a compelling one-page visual story to help the world better understand your business and how you can help them. For a special limited time offer, we are offering you this service for 1/3 the usual price, valued at $1,500. Yep, 70% off. Again, this will only be available for a limited time, and we've already seen incredible results with our clients changing this one single statement. So to get your word perfect pitch today, head to www.thedrawshop.com/elevator pitch now. That's www.thedrawshop.com/elevator pitch. Okay, let's get into today's episode. These type questions start to bring them closer to hope because they feel heard. The fact that you are listening and asking about the real problem immediately opens up the trust feeling with them. They have someone who is listening, who appears to care, and now they're really hopeful that if you understand them, you might actually have the solution for their problem. On the last episode 36 of my Marketing Sales Funnel series, I talked about how to convert leads into paying customers. Up until this point, you've learned how to get the attention of the lead, inspire them to take action, give them value, and then nurture them to take action with you on a sales call. Today's episode is focused on how you take this opportunity, meaning the opportunity to see this very warm lead now and close them. So yes, today we are talking about selling. And everything I talk about here will apply to whether you are selling over the phone, in a face-to-face meeting, on stage, on a webinar. You can even think of these as items and concepts to include in your copy and in sales letters. But the goal remains the same in everything I'm talking about today, and that is to close the deal, of course, if the customer is right to work with you. If you're selling over the phone, at the very beginning, I suggest that a no pressure 30-minute conversation, in our business, we call it a risk-free strategy call, is something that is very, very helpful for the prospect. So instead of them thinking that they are booking a call with you for you to sell them, have them think that this is a 30-minute conversation where you can learn more and discover how it is that you could help them. In my years of writing sales copy, selling myself as a service when I was a copywriter or ghostwriter, and then later selling my business's services, I learned so much. I learned even more when I started listening into my sales team and their calls with customers and prospects. So as a copywriter and as a person who sold on the phone, I learned that connecting with people was critical. And I also learned that so many people do it wrong. So many people will give a sales presentation and dump a whole lot of information about features and benefits, what their offer is, and they just hope that that person will say, "Cool, I need that, sign me up." But here's the thing. When you have a lead who has raised their hand in interest of what you do because you put out good marketing that got their attention, which we talked about in the previous episodes, and you got them to book a call with you and take that next step, You now need to understand where they are at in that moment and what their desired outcome is. Meaning, don't sell to them right off the bat. Listen to them and understand them. Like if you walked into a restaurant and you sat down and the server just brought you an entree that you didn't ask for and never asked you what you actually wanted, but just brought you an entree and it was something you might or might not want, you'd kind of be like, this isn't really working for me. That's strange. But when they ask, it's a totally different story. It's a very simple example, but I think you know what I mean. What you don't want is to get on the sales call and have them feel like you're going to sell to them. All of a sudden, just here's what we got, here's how much it is. Instead, be on their team. Imagine if you're on their team and really needing to help them because you work together. Just understand what their pain points are and what would be the best outcome for them. And then you can discover if they're a good fit. And then you can decide whether you really can help them. What you need is accurate knowledge of their problem before you can even suggest what a solution would be. If you're suggesting a solution without knowing their problem, you come off as salesy. And here's the other thing. If you're not a right fit for their problem, please do the right thing and refer them to somebody else who is, or just tell them that they're not a right fit. This will actually do so much for your reputation. And oftentimes that person will probably refer someone else who could use you as a solution because of the integrity that you displayed. Okay, so back to speaking with the prospect. What you don't want to do is go into all of this detail about how great your service is. Yet, not yet. What you want to do is feel out how much their problem is really getting to them, and then get them to feel how much better their life could be once that problem is solved, and then position yourself as the person who can help them solve that problem. See, when you talk about what you do and how great your service is, people feel that that conversation is all about you instead of them. And remember, the reason they're wanting to get on the phone with you or listen to you in your webinar or communicate you or just block out that time to listen is because they actually are concerned about themselves. They want to talk about themselves and they're really only interested in how you can help them get rid of this problem so that they can have a better life. They really don't care about you. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Most people generally are concerned about themselves. They love themselves the most. It's a natural thing. And they want to talk to you so that they can talk about themselves. They're not interested in blocking out time in their day, in their very busy day, to learn about you. They're really only concerned about getting their problem fixed. So what I'm going to do for this episode is I'm going to break this out into steps of what a really good call or interaction would look like. So the first step is finding out their why. Ask how you can help them or what made them book this call with you. Just start with that and then close your mouth and just listen. So, hey, Ron, why did you schedule this call with me today? And then just listen. And if they say something like, well, I just wanted to learn more about what you do, that's probably not the truth. I mean, they might, but most likely they're kind of like, the ball's in your court. They need to be guided here. So they probably also don't feel safe opening up yet. So you'll need to dig deeper, and that's fine. You can ask things like, well, why are you serious about, and whatever problem is you think they have or whatever your service is. Why are you serious about setting up a financial plan right now? Why are you serious about losing weight right now? Why are you serious about renovating your backyard right now? And then you can ask things like, well, what have you tried or who have you spoken with? And why do you think you haven't worked with them? Or why do you think it hasn't worked? Or how long have you tried this other way to generate more revenue in your business? These type questions start to bring them closer to hope because they feel heard. The fact that you are listening and asking about the real problem immediately opens up the trust feeling with them. They have someone who is listening, who appears to care, and now they're really hopeful that if you understand them, you might actually have the solution for their problem. Sometimes people don't even know how big their problem is. And as you start to ask these questions, they're like, oh, crap, it's bigger than I thought. But don't worry, you're not going to scare them off. This is a good thing because now you get to come in with hope on how to get it fixed. So let's go into step 2 now. You've identified the pain and the problem and why they called you. Now it's time to figure out where do they want to be. I often call this the transformation. After this transformation, what does life look like? So things like, so hey Ron, if we were to flash forward 3 months or whatever your timeline is that you typically deliver results to your customers, ask them what would have to happen for you to feel like you won? Or you could ask them things like, how much revenue are you looking to add to your business? Or, Sally, what kind of energy do you want to feel each day? Or, Joan, what would a successful marriage look like for you? Or, Roger, what would that much extra time do for your lifestyle? You get the idea. Ask those questions and then listen to the answers. Once they've answered those questions, you then clarify them. So, what I'm hearing is that you're frustrated with your current contractor and you want it to be done 2 months ago. You'd like to have your home finished within the next month so that you can enjoy it with your family by the holidays when everyone comes to visit. You want to feel proud when you have them in your finished home. Or something like this. So, what I'm hearing is that you want to add an additional $50,000 to your monthly revenue, and you tried other sources and none of them have worked, and it's been costing you more money. So, you're ready to do something with guided help so that you can see those results by next quarter. So, you see how you're validating them, you're relating to them, you have empathy, and you understand where they're coming from. And now they're feeling like, wow, this person really listened to me. They get me, and they're actually totally potentially could help me solve my problem. And so now they're engaged and they want to stay on that conversation even longer. Did you know that I'm currently building a digital course that's going to go deep into building your ultimate sales funnel, even if you have no clue what a sales funnel is and how it works? I've been working hard at it to bring you the absolute best value. But I couldn't do it without the help of my coach and friend, Amy Porterfield. In fact, I'm so in love with her process that I actually became a partner of her Digital Course Academy and a sponsor of her Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Take it from me, building a digital course is no cakewalk. In fact, it took me years to even get started because of all the things I didn't know. Like most things in life, I have certainly learned that if it's worth doing right. So if you have ever considered creating a digital course for your business, boy, do I have a sweet treat for you. My go-to digital course creation coach, Amy Porterfield, just released her new free 19-page ultimate course creation starter kit. And you can check it out now at thedrawshop.com/Amy. It was an absolute goldmine for me, and I want to make sure you get a chance to download it for free. I'll only have it up there for the next week, so make sure you get yours. Here's what you're going to learn in it: how to figure out your winning course idea and nail the perfect topic that sparks interest and engagement from your community, what to name your course based on the 6 different types of course names, because you can't let something like getting stuck on a name hold you back. And these examples will make sure you're past that potential roadblock and off to the races. You'll also get a brainstorm session of what you'll stop doing in your business once you're generating revenue with your digital course. This one is extra fun to explore. So I just wanted to share in case you're inching close to burnout or just ready to up your game and scale. Get set up with this blueprint to make some magic, and I can't wait to see what's up your sleeve. Head over to thedrawshop.com/Amy. Okay, back to the show. So now we go to step 3. This is where we address what does it mean if they get this problem solved? And I mean here for the person individually. And then you'll also unveil what would happen if it doesn't get solved. So these are the next questions to ask them. So why is it important for you to add this revenue? And remember, you're looking for the real answer, not just because I want to make more money, but what does making more money do for you? Well, it frees up time and I will get more time with my family. Well, why is that important? because then I feel less stress and I'll feel more free to have that consistent revenue. Mm. Or how about, what does it mean if you don't fix this constant fatigue that you're feeling? Well, it means that I won't have energy for my kids and I'll stay irritable. And it means my husband and I will continue to feel disconnected and potentially not make it. Get to the real feelings and the real fear, then clarify it again. Repeat back to them what they have confessed to you. And then you can say something like, okay, so it sounds like now is really the time to get this figured out, right? And this is kind of the point in the conversation where you're really going to feel from them if this is important to them, if it's meaningful to them, and you have this opportunity to yourself continue this conversation. Remember, you have to be a right fit for each other. You're not just going to work or sell with anyone. At least I hope you wouldn't. So this is the time that if you feel that this is meaningful and important to them, you can continue the conversation, and now you can show them how they can accomplish what they want. So now you're coming into step 4. This is where you can start to talk about the value that you can bring. Remember that they came to you because they saw something in what you marketed that spoke to their problem that they have. And you kept giving them little bits of value that pertained to their problem. So now is your chance to really show how you can help them with that bigger problem. So you would say something like, okay, I totally understand. And I really feel that we can definitely help you with this. Can I show you how we can do this? So now you're starting to enter the sales pitch. But when I say sales pitch, I don't mean telling them what it's going to cost them for you to fix this problem. Remember, people today are being marketed to and sold to left and right. So naturally, they're feeling skeptical. And they should, because there are a lot of people out there that are not selling real value. So here's where you can actually help them and bring them close to solving this problem. If you can solve some of their problem at this part of your interaction, they're going to want to buy more. So if you can help them get off that call feeling that they're in a better position than when they started talking to you, like they actually accomplished something, oh my gosh, you will absolutely prove that you are different than all the others they've talked to because you actually care and you actually gave them a small solution to their problem. So what do I mean by that? So let's take the example of a marketing agency. So for example, if your goal is to sell them a monthly retainer and work with them on their business with their marketing, you could offer something at this point of the call that's something like, let's take a look at your website real quick. And I'd love to show you a few short things that you could change, or maybe a few copy tweaks that you could do. And you'll start to see an immediate difference in your site conversions. Now, you just gave that to them for free. You're going to give them the suggestions for free. Let's head on over there. Do you mind if I take a look? Or if you're a financial planner, it sounds like saving money has been something that's been really difficult for you. I just want to give you this quick money saving tip that you can actually implement today. And by the end of the month, you're going to be pretty excited about how much you've saved. So little things that you already know because you are the expert in your business that you can get people to do today. And just offering that up to them gets them so much closer to wanting to buy from you with very, very little resistance. So then we enter into step 5. Once you have determined, yes, they are a great fit, now is when you want to get them to commit to working with you. So you'd ask them things like, so does that sound like something you were looking to implement now that you've talked about what their problem is and the ways that you can help them solve it? Or you might ask them at this point, would you like to learn more about how we can work together? So it's really guiding them into that. Let's get them committed to wanting more, to taking that next step. Now we get into step 6. When they say yes to that, like, yes, this is something I want to implement. Yes, I want to know more about next steps of how we can work together. Now you can offer your solution to their problem and how you're going to do it. So in doing this, remember to summarize the problem, the pain, the fear, the hope, all the things that you learned so far on this call, and the transformation that they can have. And use their own words, by the way. So whatever word they're using for fatigue or tired or no energy, remember those words, jot them down and use their own words back to them as much as possible. And then remember to focus on the transformational result that they will have. So once we get this in place in your business, you're going to have more time with your family. You'll be making more money. You'll have predictable results, which is really going to give you that feeling of security. You're not going to have those sleepless nights of wondering how you're going to make payroll. Get where I'm going? So now this leads to step 7. After you have outlined all of that, how you're going to solve it, this is how we're going to work together. And before you get to the pricing, ask them if they have any other questions. Make sure that they're clear on how they can work with you. Does this make sense to you? Is there anything else I haven't covered? Are there any other questions before we get into that financial commitment? And then you can ask something like this. So if the money makes sense, we can get you started immediately. Are you ready for that? Or other than the financial commitment, is there any other reason that you wouldn't want to get started today? Or how about this one? Do you feel that you're a good candidate for this? This is a really great one. Or do you feel like you're a right fit for this, for what we offer? It's a really great one because it starts to get them thinking about selling what you have to offer to themselves. Because people just naturally want to be qualified and be involved. So you've now kind of turned the tables there. So after you do this is when you're going to state your prices. Okay, great. So this is the time that you're going to give them the pricing and you're going to say it with confidence. It's also a great time to offer in whatever maybe bonus or other advantage that they can have. Like normally we require this much time, but we'll be able to get started today if we can get your deposit. Or normally we require this much of a deposit, but I'm going to cut that in half if you're ready to get started today, because I feel that people like you who make decisions quickly always turn out to be the best clients and have the most success. And that's what we want. So you say this with such confidence. You don't want to say your prices with a question mark, like it's going to be this much, or pause or fumble over it, because that makes it sound like you're not confident with the pricing. And you know that you offer really good value. So you should be really confident about the pricing that you have. So you deliver this to them and then you wait for their response. With this type of selling strategy and all of those steps, I promise you, you will dramatically increase the conversions and hear responses like, send me the next steps, send me my invoice. Okay, I'm ready to do this. Where do I sign? But here's the other thing. Even if they're not ready right at that time, that doesn't mean you let them go. You got this far with them. You know that they're interested, and most likely what they need is more time. Maybe they have to consult with somebody. Maybe they do see the value, but they simply don't have the funds, but they will eventually. Whatever that reason is, continue to nurture them. Follow up is so important. And I'm not going to go into that on this episode. I am going to make sure to record an episode on follow up with emails, with phone calls, and really great tips on getting responses and converting those who weren't quite ready. I promise you, we have people that have gotten to this point, and sometimes it takes a few more months. Sometimes it takes a whole nother year, but we convert them with the tips that I'm going to share with you on a future episode. But my hope is that everything that I just went through, that you will take these steps, you will implement them into your selling strategy. Again, whether that's on the phone, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's just in copy or emails, asking questions, maybe it's in a chat box, I don't know. But however you're communicating with these people, I want you to implement these and I want you to see what happens. And I'm so excited and so confident that it will work so well for you. I want you to reach out to me and let me know how it works. Please let us know how it works for you. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't already done so, would you do me a favor and go subscribe and review this podcast? My goal is to continue to deliver you content that will really move the revenue needle in your business and give you up-to-date content on anything else that can dramatically help your business. You can also find us at thedrawshop.com/podcast, where you can comment on the podcast or contact us directly with any issues you'd like me to address. Thanks again. I really, really appreciate you listening, and I'll see you next time.